hard to mess up some of the setup here for Dplus. And if you think you can play this matchup confidently enough, if you can walk that tightrope, don't overextend, track the enemy jungler, keep an eye on where Willer is at all times, because he wants to be winning the bottom lane because they don't have a range support down there. He needs to be focused there. You can generate a significant lead, get your ult quest online faster. And then the Ambessa is going to be your primary form of hard engage here to set up the Jhin. The Ignite take here does not really end up working out in their favor. It's not a horrible scenario for them, but it's definitely not a favorable one either. And so as a result, we are going to see tons of lane control here. In fact,
oh, the flash forward there from KIA as they do manage to get the first blood. KIA will sacrifice himself for it as Deadly Flourish is just walked away from. As Smash in melee range with Andil is not exactly what he wants to do. Flashes eventually in order to get out of the way, but Andil taking that one up. That doesn't exactly give him combat power here in this lane, as Smash really wanted to walk a little bit faster. So he will have those shoots now collected.
Top lane, Willer has a potential angle here.
Yeah, but another anchor is going to connect. Andil just threads the needle, and Smash is so dead. Jiwoo going to be able to pick that one up.
And this is the problem with losing that flash on the Jhin in the exchange at the end there. That flash is so much that comes as a result of it as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with Siwoo's early tempo teleport to grab a longsword, he had it back a second time, and now Rich has level 6 advantage. Well, he's going to use it.
Yeah, that is going to be Siwoo taking a lot here from Rich, but he's still got 200 health. Actually goes back in, which is kind of insane, as he flashes to get out of the way of the assumed shuriken.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the fact that he flashed preemptively as good magical journey there from KIA. Smash still moving forward, wanting to find an angle here as Lucid and ShowMaker are making their way down. Flash out from Lucid there to avoid the shockwave, which doesn't actually connect. Empress Divide now onto 2 as Willer flashes, but he's still going to die. It's the Bard getting another one as Andil likely to go down next, and Jiwoo will be shut down by Smash. ShowMaker still on full health after he eats some of that honey fruit, and DK, guess what, Wolf? They found a team fight win.
So they can play a little bit more aggressively. Now Lucid's going to try to take this bottom side prio here and look for a blue steal.
Yeah.
Invade, I should say.
As KIA has swept things out, Hook is going to connect immediately onto him, wants to take that magical journey, and he might be able to do so, but I still think he's dead, as Willer can just take it as well, and you can see a little bit frustrated in the player cams there on for KIA.
Of course, so no real escape for KIA, who was flashless, stayed a little bit too long.
All right. Jiwoo fighting against Smash once again, but taking that burst as there's the curtains. Jiwoo looking for an angle here, does try to get out, and the Valkyrie will be able to do so. As stuck between a rock and a hard place here, ladies and gentlemen, as Jiwoo kind of realizing he's trying to work out what he can do. Flash is available for both of them, and there it is. Smash just needs one more, and there it is! Through the barrier, says the 4th bullet. No worries there at all.
I think Jiwoo should have barriered the previous bullet and flashed, and maybe, I don't know, there's not really much you could do in that scenario, but he waited till the last possible second. The damage is real on the 4th shot, though, and that barrier isn't enough.
Yeah, that was just a little bit sad. Like, you saw it. Jiwoo was like, well, I mean, if I go the other direction, I'm dead. As Jiwoo's going to get locked up into the air. In goes Willer, looking to try and take him down, and they will be able to grab that kill. Andil just very comfortably as well, and with Lucid having no ultimate, maybe there's going to be an opportunity there. Shock Blast does go wide, as Rich taking a bit of damage and electrocute here is now KIA face checking. Not sure about that one, but it's Willer that's taking the brunt of this. Deadly Flourish from Smash as he's looking for a flank angle. As we know the Lucid doesn't have the public execution, but DRX members are getting so low, and the Cosmic Binding connects onto Jiwoo. He's in melee range, and now he is dead as ShowMaker looks to get out of there and will be able to do so, but now the stun lands onto Willer as well. Cosmic Binding after the flash is going to miss though, and Smash just needs a little bit more for that bullet. Andil read him like a book as there's the curtains being called yet again. As Smash just really wanting to try and take down Willer, but thankfully there is a big, big daddy in the way.
Smash is like, maybe he's not blocking for him. Let's check and
yeah,
see.
Exactly. He's like, maybe he'll just like walk early, you know, because he's a fog of war.
Maybe, you never know. Did not happen in this case. Is Rich going to go for another all-in here?
Yeah, there's a slicing maelstrom onto Siwoo. He's going to try and turn it as best he can. Does get the boot back, and down goes Rich. But man, it was so close.
Yeah, a bit of a coin flip on that one in terms of how close it was. I thought Rich had it calculated with the stun coming through, but he did not have. So watch this. This is from the perspective of Siwoo, as in live, another all-in the bottom lane.
Yeah, in the meantime, even more happening, but let's have a look at it. The stun came down and gets the boot back, and the put in the works auto attack to take him down, and yeah, that'd be my reaction as well. An objective themselves, they can get the setup and the flanks, then it can work, and otherwise they want to avoid that sort of front-to-back team fight. The turn is not necessarily as good, and I kind of like it. The identification of what this composition can do as Tempered Fate to turn off this turret. Rich just has to get out of there with the Lightning Rush. Not too much more going to come of it, but the Rift Herald does go over to Dplus. That's
DRX
their time.
Do get the first turret on the bottom side of the map, though, for Jiwoo, and he picks up a ton of money and actually picks up a gold lead because of it.
Big one, too.
So Dplus, you know, they decided we're going to play to the side lane top side. Took a lot longer, though, to do it, and because of the bottom side control that Willer had, like, they pushed Siwoo out of the lane, got the turret, and they're going to pick up a dragon here.
Whoa! Flash Depth Charge does come on through as the public execution. I don't know whether he really wanted to go that way as Lucid flashes and dies. And the Drake is taken on the other side. DRX with multiple wins across the map.
And maybe even potentially more here.
Yeah. Remember, Jiwoo took down the turret. And so Siwoo is likely just dead as well. The flash is also employed, but it's not going to save him, and Jiwoo gets another kill. He may have died 4 times, but he's starting to make some money.
I mean, this game has second dragon. They got first turret. Rich has freedom in the top lane now as well with Siwoo dead. They are just winning everywhere, and it's a massive swing. Now the gold is dead even.
Yep. Teleport does come on through, as you can see the Tempered Fate not able to stop Rich from going home. And so he does get that teleport out of there. A bigger cooldown to be employed, but does keep himself alive, and that is certainly good news. ShowMaker for him to pick up his Manamune, as he's very, very close to max stacks for the Muir Mana as well. As another anchor is going to connect onto Korea. He's taking a lot of damage, has to flash to get himself out. Magical Journey, a very short one, as the curtains have now been called. Jiwoo is now having Smash in point-blank range. Doesn't exactly get to use all of these, as there's a great shockwave onto Lucid to take him out. Finally, he kills the Ambassador with that ability, as Jiwoo realizes the rest of his team's here, and DK are not, and DRX win a team fight as well.
I thought ShowMaker was signed for multiple years here for Dplus. Thought he's the showmaking, playmaking maker, but he's just not showing up to these scraps. He's not showing up to these skirmishes at all to stand in the side lane, and they need him. He's the major gold lead. He's the big threat. He's the one who can split these fights up with Emperor's Divide, and he is just AFK in this one. Yeah. I'm not to blame him, because the win con for them is to split, is to get the Azir fed, use that side lane win con, but he doesn't have grubs, so it's taking a little bit longer. And this fight,
and Jiwoo was there, and Rich wasn't. And so the fact that Dplus lost yet another kill, and it wasn't exactly a man advantage or anything like that for DRX, it was just the fact that the money was not there for DK. So they're going to have to fix it. And DK, after, you know, figuring things out in the early game, they won that early skirmish, got a little complacent. And if you're a DK fan, you'll understand that's happened before. She was just really dead. Rich just finds him, presses R, and down goes the Jace.
This Jace is a very fragile pick, and it is not safe.
And not able to take the turret
look
down.
Look at the map, though. I mean, they get the charge, but Ucal looks like he's going to get a whole turret, and they don't get the turret in mid lane, and they don't have a play here.
Well, Hook going to connect onto ShowMaker as he gets knocked up. Tempered Fate to keep him safe. As now Lucid looking for an angle. Flash out of the way from Andil to avoid the deadly flourish. And that is just going to be disengaged here from DRX as the Drake is going to come up. It would be soul point for DRX. But control of the area belongs to Dplus at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while, though. Rich going in.
Yeah, Ghostblade.
I mean, Ucal has his ultimate at the ready here. This could be absolutely a favorable fight for DRX. Ucal has the time to come back in. Got an extra rod.
Well, in goes Siwoo looking to take down Andil, and he does successfully do that, but he'll sacrifice himself for it.
Top laner for support on a fight like this. I'm not sure if that's the trade he was looking for. ShowMaker has to save this.
I mean, Andil is very important, though, for DRX. Otherwise, they don't have very much engage. So maybe that's going to be enough to give DK the confidence. I think without the Jace, though, can get problematic. But Slicing Maelstrom's back up. Rich has Flash. He could win the game for them right here. Shockwave connects onto Lucid. He does still have the public execution. As in goes ShowMaker, and he looks for the angle. He gets on top of Jiwoo. The public execution is there as well, and the curtains, they have been called for DRX, but 2 are already down. And without Lucid and ShowMaker, DK have no way of winning a fight, as it's almost the Drake take there from the Deadly Flourish, but it does not come through. So a 1 for 3, and DRX can do no wrong.
ShowMaker spent a lot of time in side lanes. I think he's going to have to continue to do so, but they will have to show up for this next Dragon 100%.
And this is the thing that's a little bit scary, because this could mean a lot for DK, as Lucid's just dead again. Willer is going to turn that into another one onto ShowMaker here at the same time. He tries to shift the sands as Siwoo. Just one more auto and he's going to be going down, but ShowMaker's dead on the other side of the map, and DK are falling apart at the seams.
Jiwoo could maybe have an angle here. Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Rich is not even going to flash for the kill. He's like, taking this win, getting your flash is more valuable. They're going to take Baron on the top side. Everyone rotated bottom side trying to bail out the Jace, but there's nothing bottom side. This is just a free Baron.
Yeah.
DRX are running circles around Dplus right now.
Wait.
And he does die to minions.
Did he die to a minion? Is that what happened?
There's, I guess that's the only explanation. He was
Rich doesn't have an extra kill, right? So,
yeah.
Okay. Right, you know, the underdog buff. Is this DRX, they just punch harder than you expect. And DK are the team that are just, yeah, they often get caught by teams like that. As Tempered Fate goes wide, Deadly Flourish gets flashed, and Rich going to keep himself alive. Siwoo in a lot of trouble, as he's going to have to get out of there. Andil probably not wanting to go for that one, as he is taking a lot of damage from ShowMaker. As DRX looking to push in with this Baron buff and make it work. 3,000 gold on the Red Bull Baron power play already, putting them at a 6.2k gold lead. DRX, like, I mean, they are just off to the races in this game. It's all right. Let's see whether they can find it, as there is the public execution, but the CC is there and the Ambessa goes down.
Way too early for the TP flank. Let's see if he can get anything with the
Also,
shock
what
blast.
is a flanking Jace going to do anyway, as Empress Divide comes on through and ShowMaker immediately goes down. She was knocked out of the sky, and DRX is moving forward like a freight train. Smash likely to go down next, as Willow looks for the angle. Wind becomes lightning. He's going to go wide, so that spells the end of that. But it is only Smash left alive. The base is going to be broken, and DRX are on the road to doing it again.
Yeah, this is a great start for them here. Ucal, a little bit less great on this one.
Like, the amount of dying to minions this game is much higher than it should have been.
Yeah,
I think.
at least twice. It's very silly, it's very funny, but DRX, I think, are going to laugh about it.
I have the feedback for him to avoid that happening, though, and that is, don't back under the enemy turret.
He thought the minions were going to cover late game is here. We talk about Jace Shock Blast warping objectives, but if they can't even get halfway to the Baron, what does it mean? What does it matter?
Well, I mean, they have to try. And there is Rich finding the angle onto ShowMaker. The shockwave connects onto Korea, but ShowMaker does flash his way out of there. Siwoo now getting ulted by Andil, but the knockup collects Korea on the way through, and the Jace is separated and destroyed. A double kill just casually there for Jiwoo, and they'll just saunter back towards the Baron to take it down with ease.
This is looking very different than the last time these two teams matched up against each other. ShowMaker down flash now. Baron is going to, you have to think, guaranteed. Yeah, he just doesn't want to die.
He really likes Bruiser Corky, doesn't he? But he's taken it, I feel, an extra step with the Randuin's purchase. It's kind of cute, but don't know about it.
No, I mean, the Jace and the Ambessa can't hurt him now, basically.
Yeah, and I guess he just, like, presses the Randuin's button and Valkyrie's, and then they can't get up to him. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, all right. Well, he's also got a Mountain Soul, so it's only going to get amplified as well. So I kind of like that as well. A situational purchase, as the anchor is going to go wide. Jiwoo is walking a little too fast there for Andil, as just stands in it, does Rich, as he's very happy to be Tempered Fated. He will get held in position, though, and it's Smash that's able to lock down that kill now.
Lucid
the curtains are being called. Let's see whether Lucid can actually find this. There's a couple more bullets left in the chamber. Deadly Flourish connects, as they do have Andil, and they avoid the anchor. But now Willa goes in, and we will have to find out whether Willa can actually die. Goes down to the GA to start us off. As the engaged Corky comes in, the Shockwave is going to come through as well, and all the damage is melting. Jiwoo just doesn't take damage. And the concrete binding is actually fantastic, but Lucid, he cannot outfight this. And Andil comes forward. Is that going to be the quadri? Yes, it is. And down goes the net.
Incredibly well. And for example, if Mundo hits a cleaver on somebody, that hits a cleaver on somebody, because that's kind of how it goes. ShowMaker's like, I'll be right there. Yeah, that person's going to die. Now, the jungle Zahin has been a little bit up in the air, right? We were looking at this draft, and you could have seen the jungle Silas here instead.
Oh yeah, and I'm actually, I'm kind of crazy because I assumed that was going into the top lane, but they were
15 CS down. So not a great start for what the Silas wants to accomplish in this game.
Yep, and it's like roaming into the jungle there off tempo, that's what's going to happen, right? And this is why a lot of our mid laners don't actually follow, because losing a wave can be incredibly detrimental. As now Rich taking a lot of damage here. There's the Mega Gnar out of Siwoo. He'll have the ultimate as he lands the house. And Wallop comes through. And stun comes down. Let's see whether Siwoo can actually find this even 1 versus 2. As Rich just gets hit with 3 houses and will go down. Man, that's a Fire Emblem game. That's all right. Out he goes. He just hops his way out of there.
Yeah, I think the line to be active, because as you point out several times, their engage is pretty lacking. So they need to have a front line for Jiwoo to just auto-attack people. As CJ gets the first house, gets this wallop, has his Gnar, was not actually the wallop I mentioned earlier, but the Gnar that hits both into the wall.
Oh, 410 gold as well, feeling fantastic about that one. And a top lane advantage for a Gnar is so incredibly
Possibilities go wide.
All right, Korea does not quite find the beat drop there.
Okay, now he got Smash's Q. This is an angle.
Yep, arrow going to come on through there as the ulti has been thrown out. The Encore is going to be missed. Onto Jiwoo, gets in range of Smash. Barrier is there as Lucid is just so slow. He looks for the briefcase, and he's being followed by the Zahin. The flash over and the dash back from Jiwoo is so slick. And DRX, they're not going to find kills. Jiwoo stays alive, and Lucid is still running. Grim Deliverance delivers not a whole lot. He's got the wrong house. The houses are in the top lane, as we mentioned earlier. And these briefcases continue landing. They're trophies, actually, with this particular skin. I keep seeing, like, Corporate Mundo every single...
They won the bottom side eventually, and now they are going to take their prize.
Yep. Chemtech Dragon is going to be mopped up. And Siwoo is also going to discover Willa here. Oh, almost steals it, man.
I thought he had it for sure.
That looked
so close.
His house accuracy has just been phenomenal. But it is going to be Dragon traded for a couple of... The arrow up and available. Encore there in 3 seconds time.
And Lucid has his ult. He can tank the turret for practically forever, but I just don't know about this.
Yeah, Jiwoo's still going to look for it here as Smash goes down low, but they've got so much CC, and it's just layered gorgeously. Auto attack was in the air, and Jiwoo, oh no, this is what we've seen before, just goes a little bit too far as Rich also, it's like a 5,000 gold lead.
It's like, Jiwoo is not a champion in this game. Ucal is not a champion in this game. Rich, down 1,500, 1,600 gold, is desperately trying to limp over to the topside turret to save it, and I think he's just a little bit too late. Also, the Herald was taken for free without a contest, as Dplus can just do whatever they want on the map right now.
Yep, moving this to a 5.5k gold advantage. And this is what we were expecting out of today, right? Was the dominance that we've seen from this team. DRX were able to find a comeback. If they find a comeback in this game, I hazard to guess that this is going to be a 3-0, because I don't think you mentally come back from that. As Siwoo is looking for a solo bolo 1v2 as Lucid comes in to make those numbers a little bit more fair, and they don't really look fair as DRX are just taking naps left, right, and center. Willa does have the passive charged up, so he's not going to be dying just yet, but I mean... He may as well have. It's still that dire.
Yeah, it is that dire. The Hextech Dragon is going to be taken here by Dplus as well. The lead is large, and it's just these holes on the side of DRX. Like, it's not that ShowMaker is sitting on like 6 kills in the early game. It's not the BDD Zoe game. But it's the fact that Silas is sitting on components for 17 minutes and actually hasn't been involved in any real fight outside of that scrap in the jungle. The fact that the Yunara, who's the main character of this draft, has been put so significantly far behind, lost a turret, and is really just trying to find money anywhere. He's like, Willer, can I have Smash? When I think about Smash from Challengers, but I think he's played a ton of games on it there.
Yeah, when Ash was really in vogue, he looked really good on the champion.
Yeah, I think even, like, Reckless, I think sometimes played the Ash when they played Ash Rumble, but Smash, I think, kind of earned it back a few times back in the Challengers during that weird Ash Rumble microcosm that we had.
Yeah.
Smash just really good at this pick. His double stops of backs, pretty impressive. His laning phase, incredible. Now He's going to grab this inner turret as DRX are hoping this is going to be a 45-minute game.
And it's not looking like it is going to be a 45-minute game, although Lucid going down relatively low. Willa taking a lot of damage, though, as we're taking some naps. Grim Deliverance there, but Willa doesn't quite make it over the wall. He does go down to the passive as the Encore comes in. And it is just going to be a disengage here from DK.
But there's no consequence when you have this much map control. It's not like, oh, we committed 4 people, we didn't kill anybody. It's like, oh, okay, we just steal stacks.
I mean, that's a very good point. Talk to Orcs about it. He would certainly agree. It's an Infernal Soul this game. DK. Theoretically, DRX could get it, but that's probably not going to happen based on what we're looking at right now as Ucal does dodge out of the way with his dash cannon, as now Lucid's possibly in a little bit of trouble. Does get pulled back by the Zahen as the bubble is going to connect one more time. And he goes sleepy, and down goes the Silas. Grim Deliverance once again. But Willer is just dead. They do manage to get their first kill of the game. But Andil, he's going to die also. And Jiwoo down to 50%. Just gets a thumbs up from Lucid to signify the fact that he is going to die pretty imminently. I don't think he's going to be able to walk past the Mundo as the Slurkle goes wide. He does have barrier, but Lucid has 1 billion health.
I have to say, it has been a mechanically impressive game from Jiwoo. Maybe I can play this. I got 3 items right now. I'm on 2. Rich comes in, he barriers and tries his best.
Okay, do we think that DRX can kill Lucid with 4 people? I mean, ShowMaker's going to come on over and make it a little bit uneven as Lucid flashes out of the way, gets a big ol' heal, as in goes Ucal, steals an Encore, which is a fair bit of value, and there's the Grim Deliverance, triple immediately for Jiwoo, and is this now the DRX comeback as ShowMaker gets dashed on and eliminated? The kill goes over to Rich, and no, there is no way, Wolf! I mean, it's still 6,000 gold lead, but the Dragon goes over, Soul Point is denied.
Jiwoo also is going to get away, it looks like.
Also, dude, like, look at that shutdown value as well.
I really want to see the gold graph. Like, look at the lead for Jiwoo right now.
Yeah.
Just, trying to fathom that is hurting my brain.
I mean, he just, like...
There's Seraphine. He basically has to play perfectly, and then maybe he could turn this game around. And, you know, he's had amazing Unara games so far this tournament, so maybe it's possible. Like, I want to believe.
Well, Yarrow is going to connect here onto Andil. Let's see whether they can grab this kill as Shiu's moving over. ShowMaker on a flank angle as Ucal will find the chains. ShowMaker going to have to get out of here as he doesn't have flash, so he doesn't have a chance. Rich is likely to die as well, though, as I don't know about that one, as the weirding was weird. And Lucid just being that front line for the rest of DK. So it's a trade of top laner for mid laner. As Lucid needs to land some of these trophies, his career does get himself out of there with the surround sound.
Dplus really just do not need to flip this fight for no reason. Just leave. Do not try to make something.
They don't need to commit to anything, right?
He's like, nah, Jiwoo's the one I'm worried about.
Yeah, and honestly, makes a fair bit of sense because he got that quadra kill, or very close to a quadra kill. And that was a large portion of the value. This is an optimistic teleport here from Shiu, just looking to try and kill Rich, and he may just do that as the Nara is picked up here by Ucal, finds the chains as well, and does manage to get a push away, but the flash out from ShowMaker, and the big heal to keep him alive from the Seraphine. And now Smash has them right where he wants them. They do take down the Gnar, but DRX members are looking so low, and the heals are coming through. Lucid, so healthy, and flashes on top of Jiwoo. He's taking matters into his own hands, but unfortunately, he then enters the grave. That's not where he wants to be. Andil is going to follow suit, and Willa likely to go down as well. That fight looked a lot better for DK as they'll get the ace and now look for a Baron or maybe just look for the base.
Dplus were just very methodical with how they played that
absurd.
fight.
You saw ShowMaker pick up about 3 during that fight alone as DRX do get inside track on this Dragon.
They have a fast Dragon take, but they don't have great setup.
It is still going to be a 50-50 as Lucid does move over here. Andil is snagged by the arrow, and just the edge of the Encore is going to pick up Andil. But now the Grim Deliverance comes in. The Drake is going to get stolen away by Willa as Lucid's still alive. That health bar very high, but the bottom lane has just been wiped out. Now it's ShowMaker that has to do all of the damage. The Gnar is gigantic from Shiu. Now hops out, and he's a mini Gnar wanting to do that DPS, but I think he's just going to get taken out here as Lucid is looking impossible to move. He's not taking damage as Ucal is just trying to run away.
That fight was saved by Shiu.
Oh dear.
My God, Atlas.
Battlestar is going to come through, and yep, Shiu looking fantastic in the fight. Ultimately, DK do win as far as the team fight in itself is concerned, but the Drake being denied is massive here for DRX.
I don't think they can get the inhib either.
And also, look at the Rebel Baron power play. It's sitting at negative 600 as Ucal is going to die. Andil probably doesn't want to be here as the inhib turret has already been taken down. The burst damage from ShowMaker is too large, and the portal jump not going to be enough to get that damage down as Lucid's going to need another couple of trophies or a paddle star from ShowMaker as they grab some extra plates on their way out.
Now remember when I said both these mid laners saves the fight because it eliminates Jiwoo. If Jiwoo does not get caught by that, straight up they get wiped, and I think maybe even get back into a lead in this game. As Ucal here, like, taking this inhibitor super hard, Jiwoo's coming up in like 15 seconds. I don't know if we really need to force the way that he did, but he did it anyways. So now the base is under siege.
They're looking to try and turn this Rebel Baron power play around, and they have managed to do so. About a 1,400 gold swing since we spoke about it last, with all these structures hitting the deck as, oh god. Yeah, Rich takes a paddle start that he certainly did not want to take. Crypt Bloom is now done here for ShowMaker, and he has a cheeky extra needlessly large rod, and it's feeling a little bit needlessly large in this game.
Jiwoo is super huge right now, and they have the stolen Gnar. They need something like that desperately.
Oh,
Ucal
God.
so low.
The poke, they need to avoid it, or they need to hard engage. And what did we say earlier on? They have no engage!
All they have is the stolen Gnar.
And if they have stolen Gnar, that's not an engage tool. As now Willa goes in. There's the Grim Deliverance. They take down the Ashe, and Willa is going to be traded. Now Ucal trying to look for that angle, but they've peeled away. The Gnar is not exactly the biggest, but they use it to take down Korea. And now Lucid is very, very big. It's going to take a little bit of killing to get him, and he doesn't have flash, so he doesn't have his life. And DRX will save their base and live to fight another day.
Dplus didn't need to force past the inhibitors. You got 3 inhibs. And the flanking TP from Ucal is really what seals the deal. Willer and Ucal have been playing so well in tandem despite the deficit in this game to try to bring this one back. Willer goes in first.
Soon. So we'll be able to steal something else away. Obviously, the Encore feels like a fantastic option. The Arrow is also very good as, oh god, these paddle stars. And this is the problem for DRX. They need to make something happen first as Jiwoo gets snagged by the paddle star. Lucid going down very low, though, as the chains are going to go wide. Smash flashes out of the way, though. And that Smash without flash is actually a target that they can go for, right? Willa needs his backup, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
A huge flash there, though. If he gets caught by that, not only is he in dire straits, but it allows Ucal to engage on the rest of the team with the gap close. He has flash. That was a very important flash to hit. And Smash does just that. Then they buy time, they survive. This is going to be the sole point going over to Dplus. They can then turn their eyes towards Baron, but because DRX got that extra lease on life and has survived here, there's going to at least be some vision on Baron for them. Andil's able to get this ward up, which is incredible. 3 inhibitors down, he's able to get vision set up here. He's going to back as quickly as he can.
Oh. Or might not be able to as everything hits! Oh, he takes a nap, and the paddle star is going to take him down. Oh, dear. He did manage to get that ward, but at what cost? Well, his life is the cost. We saw that immediately. This Baron going to go down exceptionally quickly. There's no way that DRX can challenge because they have no inhibitors left. And so now another Baron, soul point. DK, I mean, they should be able to just march up this mid lane. You can see the gold lead doesn't really mean anything. It's the structural damage that is causing the most headaches here for DRX. That and ShowMaker, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, QSS this, ShowMaker says, with every battle star that hits.
Can you QSS gray screen? The answer is no, unfortunately.
Well, they're going to try to set something up here where Ucal can either flank or they have the Zahin engaged. Jiwoo's going in.
He's just going to dash in. Kill Smash, finds the entire bottom lane and wipes them out. And now the rest of DK, what can they actually do? The Grim Deliverance takes him down to his passive here is now Lucid still trying to kite this one out. ShowMaker going down very low, but he steals away a flash and looks to escape. Oh god, Jiwoo is just absolutely unhinged, but I love it.
Engage, doesn't need it, karma, doesn't matter. I am the engaged.
Where's his Randuins? He needs another one.
You see QSS and you think you think I'm the one who's in danger. I am the danger.
Well, I mean, they're still in danger. These turrets are still, like, there's still nothing in the base. Let's check it out from Jiwoo's perspective.
I'm going to push him. I'm going to look for something here. He just says casually as he comes in and deletes Smash from the game.
And, I mean, it was so close to Lucid going down as well as he flashes out of the way. Like, this play from Jiwoo was just absurd.
He has teleport as well, which is massive.
Yeah, both top laners doing exactly the same thing, but Rich still didn't have flash from before.
Ucal has a very short cooldown on his ultimate, so we'll have it back here.
Oh god, well, the 4v4 is going to start things off as the teleports will bring the top laners in as well. Jiwoo, gigantic shield now fighting against Ucal once again as the arrow goes wide. And DK starting a fight is not what they want. They want to keep throwing things out, finding paddle stars, finding bubbles, and hitting trophies. That's what they want to do. And speaking of which, he lands it onto Jiwoo. He is able to get himself out of the way as the encore comes in, barely hits onto Jiwoo there as well, but Willer is dead, and ShowMaker is flashing on top of Jiwoo. Now the barrier is down, and Lucid will just walk at the Inara, and down he will go. Now Ucal finds yet another Gnar, but he gets walloped and destroyed, and DK took him a little while. It got a little dicey, but they'll get the Infernal Soul, and I think they'll win the game.
All right, ShowMaker with the massive play.
Oh my
Rich
goodness.
trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Paddlestar goes down. Rich will have a few better buttons, and he does connect it as soon as that bubble didn't land.
I don't know if he can get home to defend this, though.
Yeah,
Andil,
that's the problem.
Mantra Q as best as he can.
The arrow teams off the back. Oh, it just barely misses. But I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Was he on vision there as well as now Smash just going to rain the arrows in? Andil just doing his best. He's trying to land everything onto Smash.
Composition, you have a Cassante, you have the Alistair, you have a really strong front line. You have engaged with this Nocturne, but it doesn't have easy follow-up, right? You can go into the back line and then what? You know, there's a lot of bodyguards here for Jiwoo, a lot of bodyguards for this very difficult to kill Ryze anyways. I think the call to ban the Cassiopeia made a ton of sense. Banning the Onivia a little bit less so, but it fits the same sort of identity of, okay, we need some more scaling damage than just this Varus.
And there is a control ward here in the back of the pit, but it's not going to be enough to get DK in there.
So I guess it doesn't matter really too much.
Yep, Blackfire Torch is done here for ShowMaker as well as Rich and Shu fighting once again. There's the Dominus popped from this Renekton, cutting down. The Cassante gets onto the turret, all out, but
I don't think they need it. Rich is just going to take TP advantage and walk back, and Andil can hold the door.
Well, there's the teleport to come through. Smash buys some shoes. There's the Drake take as DRX are looking for a little bit more. Chains of Corruption go wide once again. And it's a Cloud Soul Wolf, like you were talking about. We deserved it.
Yeah.
Because this soul would be so much fun.
Sometimes just
dead to rights.
At least force Rich to flash. As Lucid, where are you going?
Oh dear. He's going to have to spell shield something as ShowMaker looking to move his way over, but there is a Realm Warp, and that should be a dead Nocturne. Down he will go, but there's a piercing arrow as the Olaf is going to be traded. Now, Korea moving in. There is going to be the Keeper's Verdict to get rid of Smash, but ShowMaker is still so scary, and he's got a cow to back him up. That's looking like it might be the next port of call. I mean, Smash has ulti back again.
Jiwoo is Sivir, so he's like, I've got mid-prio.
Well, maybe he may not have his life is the problem, as Spell Shield's fantastic. Korea finds the Flash Pulve to take down the Siva, and you blink and you miss it.
I guess so.
Just being removed. Andil has to flash. That's going to get him out of there, and the top laners are in the bottom lane. Thank you, Jonas Strong, for that one. As Rift Herald is just going to be taken here by DK. I don't think there's a lot DRX can do.
Yeah, I like the idea of clearing the wave and trying to collapse there, but he went pretty deep as Willer is going to show up.
Yeah, Ucal on a flank angle as well, as we've got a teleport getting them behind DK. I think DRX may have just got themselves a Rift Herald based on that play. And Wolf, you said it before, the macro late game has just looked better, frankly.
And in game 1 and game 2, they had a huge lead.
Well, ShowMaker is now going to have to flash out of the way. That is going to allow him to escape the prison of runes.
Yeah,
oh dear, we've seen this movie before. It's not great for Shu, who goes all out pretty early on in this fight, gets a big old shield. As Rich just happy for a trade of ultis. Chains of Corruption once again thrown out just for fun as Andil likely to be dead, but does get to keep his verdict down. The Arcane Storm is going to be enough though, and down goes the Poppy. DK should be able to get themselves a Drake off the back of this as Rich goes forward, has a lot of fury, and Cole the Meek is going to at least get that health bar back to parity with Shu. These top laners just been fighting constantly this game.
He's got the gauntlet.
He does manage to take down that minion wave. So there is a priority lead for DK. They're going to now push forward as DRX were looking for it here. Shu is going to get pushed back, but he's lit on fire. Not sure whether he really minds too much about that.
ShowMaker is just trapped in the bottom lane, and this is now a 5v4, and they get prio on the Dragon. Slow and steady wins the race here for DRX, although Andil a bit far forward.
Yeah, ShowMaker moving over, and DK, I mean, they're going to give up Cloud Soul point. Keeper's Verdict is going to not quite work out here as the Realm Warp is very aggressive. It delivers the Poppy, and they get on top of ShowMaker. He's blown up in an instant. And now DK, can they still win the fight? That's the question. As DRX, they just rebuild the phalanx. And DK, I don't know whether you want to take this one as the piercing arrows are flying in. Lucid wants to get that damage through. Siwoo is a monster in this game as he goes all out, takes out the Poppy, but then has to flash to get himself out of the way. Now Jiwoo, I don't know about that one, buddy. That is too far, as now Smash can walk up to take down Rich, and DK delivered a team fight on a silver platter.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not sure. I'm going to say I am sure, which is what you were saying essentially.
Yes.
That was not the play there from Jiwoo, who does now put together his Flicker Blade. Dplus are going to put together...
What are you doing? And now DK are going to very comfortably take this Baron 21 minutes into the game.
If we can survive this Baron and everything else, it's a 5,000 gold lead here again for Dplus now. Navarro's 2K ahead.
Yeah. And he's got Cyrilda's done as Career is going to interrupt the blast cone there as Rich moves his way over. Smash cannot actually enter the fight as finally he hits an ultimate at least as the paranoia, but the delivery onto Andil as he takes a buckler to the head and dies. That is just Lucid down, but you can see these health bars on DRX are very
Exhaust
low.
is set up. This is a tough fight for Dplus here.
Oh man, Smash needs to be really careful because Willa, if he just runs at them, he can really do some damage. As there's a Realm Warp, they're looking to try and single out ShowMaker, but there's a Paranoia to make them all blind as Siwoo is fighting Rich on the top end of the fight. Now Andil going down so incredibly low. Jiwoo flashes over the wall. Siwoo might be taken out here as Ucal has joined the fight, but Andil's also going to go down, and now Lucid gets on top of Jiwoo, but Jiwoo just evaporates him. The amount of damage from this Arcane Storm, though, just ludicrous as DK still have carries to spare, and the Pulverize connects. No more Steadfast Presence because Andil is down, and DRX are going to get routed.
I mentioned in the draft very briefly that Spell Shield interaction with Alistair either because it just hasn't spawned.
Yeah.
And won't be for a while if they keep getting dragons, obviously, so...
And they want to be denying the soul because otherwise they won't win team fights because Jiwoo is just going to sprint around way too fast after pressing his ultimate button as we've got a bit of an all-in here towards the bottom side. Rich's Sterix helping him out very nicely as the Realm Warp is going to make it unfair, but there is the Paranoia as well. Rich having to flash his way out as Ucal, he has decided he is fully committing to trying to kill this Cassante, and unfortunately, ShowMaker will say no.
Just not going to call worth on this one for DRX. The ultimate for Ucal is down, which has been one of their biggest tools in team fights as well. The Dragon spawning in 1 minute's time, and they're going to have 0 prio for it.
Man, ShowMaker is making Victor look broken in this game. The Dragon going to be that little bit more important here for them as Andil, there's not a whole lot he can do into Lucid as Willer is going to move on over. The rest of DK, they can move the cavalry in though, and I don't think Andil is going to be feeling too good about it. Death Ray does go wide. As the smite comes in, they want to try and get this as Realm Warp going to get Andil out of there. Wasn't all that necessary, but
yeah, this Dragon, and they can't do Baron in time. So Dplus get this Dragon for free and put themselves on 2 Drakes. Again, still super far away from Soul, but it's a free win for them with the map control they had. And I think that, you know, some of these very aggressive positions for Andil and crew, Ucal's ults, not working out.
Paranoia going to come on through here as Lucid able to mitigate so much with that spell shield. The piercing arrow goes wide, and Andil is Poppy, and so he actually lasts way longer than he has any real right to as the gravity field goes down, and that is going to deny the follow-up. But Siwoo actually takes so much damage from there, and Andil just kind of shrugs it off.
Yeah, Andil is like, I'm Poppy, I'm support Poppy, but your lethality bars doesn't
trying to
scare
back
me.
on a ward. There's a teleport in as well as in goes the Olaf. He does get exhausted, but he doesn't look that tired to me. As the all-out comes through, Siwoo lasts a little bit longer than you'd expect, but with the Ragnarok running, there is no worries there from those chains of corruption, and DRX now have the inside track on this Baron.
This front line is completely broken now for Dplus. They don't really have a great way to fight this one out. Realm Warp?
Yeah, there's the Keeper's Verdict. Gets rid of Smash. Their heroic charge is not going to do too much to Lucid, as the Arcane Storm is doing a lot of work. Paranoia now down as well. I don't think he wants to go in. Lucid does decide to pull the trigger. I'm not sure about it, as the rest of DRX are just going to walk away.
Their health bars are too low. I think that was a good Paranoia call, the way they played it, how slowly they...
Faster than Olaf. And you get slow resistance as well, so the undertow spam is not as powerful.
They have pretty strong turn with this Nocturne. I'm not sure why they're not just putting people on Dragon.
Oh, well, Realm Warp is going to deliver them into the backline. There's a flash out from Smash as Lucid just trying to get on top of the Siva. She gets feared, and now Siwoo is looking to try and get in. The Guardian Angel is going to get popped as Jiwoo is out of the, somewhat threat range, as well as down very low as well. And oh no! Korea is just left to be a stake. As now ShowMaker gets flashed on by Rich. He needs to run quick. He does have the tools to do so, but unfortunately, it's not enough. As Smash is now the only damage that's left. Jiwoo trying to keep them interested, as Smash getting a little bit frightened, as Rich, great sidestep and really good ward that was positioned there beforehand. There's the all-out, but Jiwoo just says good night to Andil with it. Finds the Q on a Rich there as well, and he's now looking for the extra damage, but Ucal puts him in prison and takes him down.
Jiwoo's back here. Smash needs to be very careful about sticking around.
Very nice spell shield there as well.
But
and it's a one-team fight by DRX. That should be Cloud Soul.
There's no jungle here, though, for 25 seconds for DRX, whereas Lucid is up and available, so they need to play this really well. I think they're going to have to try to get a secure of the pit from the outside before they go for this. This is a bit disastrous here for DRX. There's the Paranoia.
This ward as well. Yeah, the Paranoia goes down there looking to try and kill Rich, but Smash has to move into melee range, and he's going to get wiped out. Now Lucid in a lot of trouble. The headbutt to try and save the jungler, but it's just going to be Korea once again being turned into mincemeat, and DRX just keep winning.
Oh man, Atlas, this is one of those games where by the time Smash gets back here, the fight is already over. And this is DRX taking Cloud Soul and Baron.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to be able to get away. He doesn't have Realm Warp, but he doesn't need it.
Great vision control here as well, as Lucid standing on a ward this entire time is actually going to get chased down by Willa here momentarily.
So much goal on the map here. And they can just slow play this because the Sivir is getting stronger and stronger and stronger at every passing moment.
Yeah, now
level
Rich,
18.
Yeah, Rich able to walk up, and so now Jiwoo could be in a little bit of trouble, mitigates a bit of the CC. But even the Crocodile, man, level 20 on this Renekton. It's a very scary time for DK, because after this, if they don't win this game, they're staring down the barrel of match point for DRX. As now Lucid looking to try and start this fight onto Ucal, but he is very scary right now. Level 18.
There's no follow-up.
Willa does get his CC removed, but doesn't actually have to use his Ragnarok to do so, as now Jiwoo is possibly going to get taken down. He gets exhausted. He lasts a while, but he is eventually taken out, and the inhibitor goes down as well. Man, the gold advantage that has been built here by DRX is massive. 6,000 on the Rebel Baron power play, and that is only going to go up as they take another inhibitor turret. And DK, I mean, what are they supposed to do? DRX just have all the answers.
Yeah, they really do. Here's the TP in from Rich. They're looking to end the game right now.
Keeper's verdict is not going to push them all that far, as the Pulverize does not anything at all from Korea. There is no follow-up, and Rich dives forward. ShowMaker still able to do a fair bit of damage here, but he gets taken out. The ricochets tear through DK, and DRX will move to match point.
DRX looking good. Easy it is for Kalista to just use the bailout timer to get more Ren stacks, to then pull them out and get that reset. They have the insane front line, and the Galio can also help keep this Kalista alive. They're putting all the eggs in the Jiwoo basket. I think, like I said, this game is not good. It's not a game where there's a comeback angle for either side. You kind of take control, you never let it go. When I think of Willer, the first pick that comes to mind is actually Elise.
Yep.
As hold up, we might have a bit of a skirmish here.
Ooh, Lucid looking for a little bit of an angle. See whether Team Rocket is blasting off again with this particular skin choice. As Ucal moving over, ShowMaker as well is able to set up the wall. Let's see whether he does pull the trigger on that one, and there it is. Andil is over very far away from the rest of his team. Shoved back and destroyed. That's the steal as well. Oh no! A kerfuffle around where the Scuttle Crab is spawning. Now Jiwoo is dead as well. There's no bailout available, and Dplus will grab 2 swift kills and take DRX's lunch money.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game state is definitely massively Dplus favored.
Oh dear, there's Vaultbreaker flash, cease and desist, and I don't think Jiwoo's getting bailed out of that one.
At least he pressed it this time.
There you go. The silver linings are not very prevalent, as it's 3-0 in favor of Dplus, now moving closer to a 2,000 gold lead. This Drake has spawned. Dplus looking at it. Earth, Wind, and Fire on the table. That would be fun as Lucid Vault breaks in. Andil's going to get knocked up. Hostile takeover comes on through. Flash out from Smash to try and avoid that. It's a great handshake as Korea wants to find the battle dance, and he will be able to do so. As DRX, this is a Scuttle Crab as Andil is just going to get thrown at Lucid. ShowMaker puts the rocks down, throws back the Gargoyle. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in, but that is going to be the dodge on the damage out of Willa. Fantastically done there, and Lucid's going to be taken out. Weaver's wall comes in. ShowMaker, that is aggressive positioning as the seismic shove does go wide. Now he's tanking the dragon, but that large boulder did a whole bunch of work here as Korea goes in, gets the knockups, and now, oh, Smash is bobbing for apples. Looking for the angle. There is the taunt. The flash out from ShowMaker, though, as now Ucal deals with the dragon. Justice Punch comes in. There's a great handshake as Korea not able to finish them off, but these health bars are so low. Bouncing bomb, not enough. And Smash is waddling, trying to get in range. He's not quite able to do so.
I guess it's just a hands game, isn't it, Atlas?
Yeah,
here
I think that's probably what it is. We're playing.
Super common, but now we're looking at a Galio here, so they need to make something happen early.
Well, Korea's going in, looking for that grand entrance. Need to make sure I'm talking about the correct entrance because there's a heroic one in this game as well. That is not a button that's pressed. The Gargoyle does have that one available. Flash cease and desist. They're just trying to blow up Willa. They do manage to at least get the ulti to land, but there is that heroic entrance that we were talking about, and Korea is going to go down. Jiwoo secures that kill, and they just didn't have enough burst damage to take down the Neferi.
Yeah, that's the moment where a teenager, probably like in 11th grade, says through the speaker, "Sir, this was a Neferi that we engaged on." As he just eventually is able to press his escape button, and then Galio shows up because he's a global, and you're going into the meat grinder of the Callista composition. And Dplus, I said this game was going to be one-sided because, again, I keep trusting that Dplus can use these leads, but
oh dear,
maybe not.
Well, Korea grand exits, and Willer is just going to bounce over that wall himself. Rich is rotating down also. Let's see whether the grand entrance is going to come back off cooldown in time, and it does, but is it going to be enough? Yes, Battle Dance is going to get him out of there. Not enough sticks, and he'll be okay. But Rift Herald has now spawned.
Yeah, he
in
lives,
good position.
But this is a huge win. Like, now the gold lead is basically gone for Dplus. Oh. And they're going to go for a contest here. Last minute, Andil, no ult.
No Mega Inferno Bomb for Smash either. So Lucid's going to make it a 50-50 regardless, as the train's going to come in, but the Scion didn't really want it as, okay, that's just a fadeaway smite here from Lucid, and now they're stuck in the pit. Lucid's going to try and stop them, as now Rich dealing with 3 people, the rest of DRX not quite figuring it out, as Siwoo is going to be their target, but he's got a counter-strike, finds a double stun, as Jiwoo almost dies, as he just completed his Trinity Force, and he's going to survive. Now ShowMaker gets on in there with the Weavers, while the backup for the Jax has arrived finally, as the quickness from this Rakan gets in. Jiwoo's trying to get bailed out, but that fails, and the interruption on Shelly from Lucid. This is the problem with Dplus. They're capable of this beauty and also all of the other things that happened in this series.
For real, and in this game. Okay, we take it, we unpack it. Are we? Oh, am I back on trusting Dplus now? I'm like not really sure, but
I thought you were gonna say, "Am I live?" And like, yes, Wolf, we can still hear you.
Okay, good, yeah. I was not always worried about that, but it's good to confirm.
I can't actually confirm. I'm not listening to the stream.
Sounds like DRX make a decisive call that is in fact punished by Dplus.
Yeah, and I want to say sorry to Talia. Maybe just sorry to ShowMaker. You can pick whatever you. And they cannot even take this dragon.
Yeah, this is by the way only one grub on Siwoo, and Lucid is going to get the dragon. So you
and that's another wave crashes bot lane.
You almost won the team fight. Also, your base is about to be exposed.
Yeah, you almost caught Captain Smash Sparrow.
Yeah.
But it just, it cost you everything. That is going to be Soul Point going over to DK in the interim.
And I suppose maybe we were right
to feel this. Haha.
3 open slots for the Callista. I'm massively ahead.
Yep, it's beautiful. As all right, Rich is going to pull the trigger here, looking for the angle. Doesn't exactly find the damage onto Lucid, as Smash is also just fine. Knocked up by the grand entrance. The rest of DRX are left in the dirt, unable to catch up to their tank, and he gives them the big old thumbs up and walks away. Coward!
Not a the most inspiring Weaver's Wall, but good enough to make sure no one could follow up on that, which was lackluster.
Oh. Willa bounces over the wall. He's going to be all right.
There's the satchel. Finally, they got it.
Yep.
And in 1 minute and 40 seconds,
we're going to have to cue the music.
Yeah, either Dplus will win the game or something really funny will happen.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Dplus fan.
Or the throw will begin. It's going to be a multi-part process, though, this throw, if it does actually happen. As Rich, oh yeah, there's a sad beat. Quickness comes on through. There is a heroic entrance, and so Rich will buy a bunch of cooldowns. The problem is he has to use his flash. He loses his inner turret. The lead extends, and now DK have a lot of empty space between DRX and the Dragon.
If the Dragon was up, would have been very upset with the play that just happened there, but it's not.
He would have to go back to
end the game if there's a little bit of indecision here, but he is walking up right now. He doesn't have TP. DRX trying to make this, again, a second attempt at Baron turn into a mistake for Dplus. If Dplus misplay this, I suppose there's a potential angle. Maybe.
Yeah. And it also will stop them from doing the Hextech Dragon right now, so that is a good thing. The problem is they're also in a shooting gallery, and there is Smash with these bouncing bombs that are just really, really difficult to avoid when you're in an enclosed space. Now Rich standing in front of him, and he is very tanky on this Scion. As Willa, can he find the angle into the backline? Goes Siwoo, looks for it. Quickness is fantastic. Mega Inferno Bomb is largely avoided, but still does a bit of work. As Siwoo getting into that backline will proc the bailout, and down goes Jiwoo, and that means down goes all the damage. Out goes Ucal. He's going to see what he can get done here, but ShowMaker is off on the side. The threaded volley. Yeah, the taunt doesn't mean too much as that button was already pressed and the gargoyle will go down. The Baron was actually secured as Lucid just decided to stay in the pit and finish that one off. And now it's a 10,000 gold lead. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, unlosable.
Yeah.
I would like it now, wife.
I mean, I've sometimes...
And then she was like, grow it back.
Yeah, she did. She told me not to grow it first, but then she changed her mind later. I don't think people will like it if I shave my beard, but I don't think I'm going to have to.
Yeah,
the real talk here.
DK are making you look pretty safe right now, as I'm the one that looks silly because ShowMaker's about to win with Talia. As there is the flick back on Rich, and yeah, unfortunately that train didn't have any tracks, and well, actually the tracks are there. He's just on the wrong side of them. As the Weaver's Wall came up to make sure that the escape was just not there for the zombie. And the zombie wasn't able to escape anyway. He was always going to die. Now Nexus turret's under fire. This top inhibitor turret is probably going to go down as more of a formality than anything else. Look at this army of siege minions! That's all right, they're looking for ShowMaker, and Mega Inferno Bomb goes down. Jiwoo doesn't even get bailed out this time. He is just dead in an instant. The hostile takeover is leaving. It's just leaving. DRX, they're going back to the drawing board, and we are heading...
They're going to be hard engaging on the Jinx. You're not going to get that much value out of the Lantern because they're just going to be blowing up your front line, which, by the way, is a Gwen, and that's it. And if they get any kills, if Tristana gets resets here, the Wild Growth can save either carry threat in the Tristana and the Aphelios. You don't have a traditional tank here. You can't build armor as Dplus. And this draft feels very flat to me on the Dplus side. You've got a strong 1-3-1 if you
can. Siwoo survive? That is the question. It's a big wave moving towards this Gwen. It's going to be a tough dive as he is immune a little bit, but Rich is going to die, so a 1-for-1.
And the kill goes to the Gwen. And the DRX kill goes to Will on the Dragon. You can't really do anything as the Twisted Fate, and he's just back to pushing mid, and Ucal will join him.
Yep, so make a Death Rocket unable to get the steal. But as
Dplus, but it's small advantages everywhere else for DRX.
Yep.
Plus the Dragon.
Oh, did Willer actually take that as well? He did. Just walked up and smote it. Beautifully done. There are the pineapples. Needlework not connecting here as there is the flame spitter. Rich lights him on fire, then lights him on fire again. That is a solo bolo as the DRX top lane.
Pretty nice trade in terms of the initial gank that happened earlier as he just goes in for the snip, takes a ton of damage. The heat is exactly where Rich wants it. He's got Ignite. He can follow Flash here, just gets on top of him.
Yeah, gorgeously played. DRX
Boy, they are ready for this fight.
Yep, let's see whether DRX can make this one happen. There's a... Okay, wasn't exactly the Glacial Prison he was looking for. As now Lucid safeguards his way out. He can also take a Lantern to get his way out of there, but instead he finds the kick. Hits Jiwoo, there's the Flash Play to come through, and the steal is there from Lucid at the same time. You see Lucid trying to get over towards Jiwoo, but couldn't actually resonatingly strike to him because he was too far away. Finds the Piggy, though, and manages to take down the Sejuani. Now a Wild Growth from Andil is not going to do enough, and that is going to be ShowMaker getting even more. Now Jiwoo and Ucal just trying to keep themselves alive underneath this turret. And yeah, Rich walked down, he's like, what did I miss?
That was absolute cinema.
To the level 11, but Jiwoo only just got there. I guess same can be said for Rich. So it's a full level lead, as now ShowMaker could be in trouble. Another Glacial Prison is going to miss, though. And at least Ucal's able to get the damage down. Does find the rocket jump, and ShowMaker will die.
Yeah, you can always follow up with that rocket jump in that situation because you know you're going to get the kill and you're going to get right out. Lucid just comes over here to see if he can get a cannon. and deny this plate.
Oh, almost follows him with that Sonic Wave. Beautifully done, but another plate does go over to Ucal. And that is a lot of money stripped from DK here.
Yeah, it's a big win for the Tristana.
All right,
as Lucid.
Yeah, looking for an angle here. He's very close to where the Rumble is, and the Rumble is scary. That's all right, connects another Sonic Wave, and now able to safeguard his way over. Super Mega Death Rocket avoided there by Willa, but Siwoo, he just wants to get himself a kill and find some money. Lucid makes his way out with 100 health, and Dplus
for DRX that don't end up coming up big because of that kick from Lucid. Now they get to drop Herald here and try to take this mid turret off the map. ShowMaker's set for this. And this is going to be a big charge. They don't quite get it from that alone, as Ucal does end up taking the first turret there on top side before Siwoo could get back. Rich also getting this one. But they need to turn this into a dragon take. Getting the turret alone, which they haven't quite gotten yet, isn't really it. They really need to get that Drake.
And Smash is so far forward as well. Has to be a bit careful as the hook is going to connect onto Willow one more time, but they're looking for the fight. Permafrost comes in, the playback onto Ucal just to try and buy some space. Smash got out of there, didn't have to use his flash, but Rich has got his, and he's not afraid to use it. Takes down Lucid. And now DRX are looking for even more. Siwoo trying to get in there, but he is nowhere near as scary as this Rumble.
Oh, poor ShowMaker too. Probably feeling like career trolled him a little bit there, pulling the Sejuani into him.
And the first Infernal will go over to DRX.
Yeah, this is really not great for Dplus. They still have a gold lead, as this is going to be another attempt here.
Making weight. Does have a Lee Sin in the vicinity. But this is frightening. Lucid getting the mini stun kick into the wall onto Rich, but he throws down the equalizer. Still, the needlework comes in, but Willa, he's not able to get enough damage down. Rich somehow, super mega death rocket takes him down. And that is money into Smash's hands. Willa at full health, but he just couldn't affect the play.
Oh man, Rich's face too, hit by the rocket, was just like, well, I don't know what I was supposed to do here. I tried my best to get out. Smash actually has the lantern here to take out the turret post-kill to grab all that extra money as well. His lead was the only real lead, and now it is basically tripled here, up to 1,500. So,
giving it absolutely everything in this series. But that is still so much money going over to Smash, who's got that cool new item, the MK thingy-jiggy, about the doing damage from a long way. The Caitlyn item. That's kind of fun. It's now Rich. Oh god, has this matchup turned as he silences himself, and for another 46 seconds.
Dplus starting to really pull away with this one. That's a huge win in the side. They get the turret. Now
and
top
Dusk
side,
and Dawn, man. Like, that was the completion, and now she was like, I run at him and kill him every time.
I win now. On the top side, Ucal is keeping ShowMaker back, but hold up.
Yeah, let's see whether Lucid can find an angle for a kick or something like that. Hook going to connect onto the Sejuani as Willa in a little bit of a rough spot. It does have Aftershock and the Glacial Armor. Doesn't have it now, as Lucid's just baiting them with some safeguarding and resonating strike shenanigans.
It looked like they were trying to set up a kick onto Willer that hits Jiwoo, and the Death Set Jinx gets excited with that sniper weapon that I can't remember the name of right now. It's pretty crazy work, what they could do with it.
It's so far working out here. 3.7k the advantage is now. Willer is in a bit of trouble. Rich needs to be careful as well. Gets the equalizer down in a decent spot, but it's not going to save the Sejuani. Rich, oh, the longest rocket of all time. And Jiwoo is very, very large, but he's tagged by Lucid and shut down. Andil's able to flash the wall. The zap will be avoided, but the damage, ladies and gentlemen, has been done.
Machine pick-based for the Jinx to get excited and just snipe people, run them down with that extra range, and that's exactly what happened in that last fight. 5.5k pushes up to 6.3 with the Baron take. And we keep watching these fights where Willer is trying to set something up on item. You really have to trust that you are going to pop off, I think, with Jinx. With a lot of other 80 carry, Caitlyn, frankly, you're like, okay, well, this will get value in almost every scenario, but with Jinx, you're like, all right, we trust. We're going to put our eggs in the Smash basket this time. He almost has, i.e., 4th item completed here. And I think Dplus have done it, Atlas. I mean, I know we've talked about the throws, we talked about the comebacks, but I just don't see it in this game anymore. They have the 1-3-1 now fully online. It's a train chugging towards the station here.
Yeah, and this is the difficulty, right? DK's composition snowballs so incredibly effectively with the Gwen and the Twisted Fate inside lanes. It can really get to a checkmate scenario very quickly, as Jiwoo almost just dead. Super Mega Death Rocket almost finishes him off, and that's going to spell the end of this inner turret. ShowMaker doing the same thing on this bottom side. And Lucid just making sure no one can defend. The Gwen's in the top lane. Like, it's actually just every lane is under threat. And there is a second one. So the Rebel Baron power play chugging above 3,000 now.
So if we entertain the possibility of a comeback here for DRX.
Got it.
Which is, of course, just theoretical. It's really about Dplus making big errors here. And Baron is running out, but they're continuing to play measured, just trying to take every little piece off of the map, get this red buff, but don't overcommit, try to find a favorable angle here with this gold card, always fishing. And they have, you know, Lee Sin, Flash coming back up very soon. There's some kick angles, you can insect here. With the siege that you have, with the map control you have, you don't have to get an inhibitor here at 28 minutes to feel like you've won the game.
Oh, Siwoo could be in a little bit of trouble here, as Gate has been thrown down. And that just mitigates any sort of attempt at stopping ShowMaker from doing what he wants. It's stopping Siwoo from doing what he wants. As they get all the information, they understand exactly what DRX are trying to do, and they can react accordingly. Now, with the Baron now worn off, Ucal fighting against Siwoo here, as the equalizer comes on through. Lucid able to get himself out of the way. The Glacial Prison just goes wide, though. Siwoo able to dash his way out. There's a gold card, but tagged by the Harpoon is ShowMaker. He has the exhaust, but I think he's still dead. He goes golden first, but he's set up. Oh, the Lantern gets him out! As the rest of DRX, they're scrambling to try and finish off the kills, but that means Smash is able to auto-attack them. The Zap is going to tag Ucal. The flash hook picks up the Tristana career. You absolute gem, as Smash is basking in the fire. That's what he likes. And now Willer is going to get taken down. It's a triple, as she is going to die for the Quadra. And now Andil, the last one standing between Smash and a pentakill here in this game 5, and he's flashing for it. He knows that he can't take the turret for too much longer, though, as now Siwoo thinking about trying to dive the fountain, and Andil will say no penta for you if we have to go to the lower bracket of these playoffs. And Dplus KIA, oh man, they gave us as much action as possible here today in the LCK Cup playoffs, but they are going to win. They're going to keep the streak alive, and DRX going to have to try again next time to see whether they can take down Dplus KIA. But this was the best shot they've taken in a very long time.
And maybe